Hi everyone, it's Owen here from the Tiny Massive team, and I'm going to talk you through using the Tiny Massive Unity template that we've made for you to give you an idea of what is the right format to create content in and deliver it to us so that we can display it up on Harper. And also to show you how to use the Visualiser to get an idea of how your content is going to look when it's actually displayed on the building. So if you go to the Tiny Massive website /kit, there should be a link there to download the Unity template file. This will work on Mac and both OS X and Windows. The visualization part of it will only work on OS X, unfortunately, at the moment. If you we're going to work on that, see if we can find a solution that works with Windows. But at the moment, because we're using Syphon, it's OS X only, but we will work on that. So you've downloaded the Tiny Massive Unity template project from the Tiny Massive website, and we're going to run this in Unity. It can be any version above 2017.3. If you want to use it in 2018, that's fine. We haven't tested it, but should be totally fine. So I've created a very simple scene here, and the important thing to note about how this project is set up is the window size. We're using this slightly bizarre number of 616 by 104, but if you divide that by 8, you'll see that it ends up at the magic 77 by 13 resolution, 77 times 13 resolution. That is the native resolution of Harper. So the reason why we're timing it by 8 is so that you get a bigger view to work with while you're designing, but also timing things by 8 scales down more nicely, and it's easier to predict which pixels are going to end up where. So so to set this resolution, I've set it up in project settings, player, default screen width and default screen height. And this is not full screen. Make sure you send us a Unity app that opens in a window, not full screen. If you send us something that opens full screen, we'll ask you either for the source code or for you to send us something that doesn't open full screen, because we can't work with it. Sometimes this doesn't work, so I've also included a little script that you can stick on your main camera that says force windowed, width 616, height 104. And of course you can set up your editor game view to see to use this resolution and zoom in and out so you can actually see how it's going to look. So within here, that's the main thing really, is to have this outputting at the right screen resolution. How you set up your camera, I've used an orthographic one here. You can use a perspective one, you can use whatever you want. That's entirely up to you. I've used a grey background here. Again, that's just so that it makes it easier to show when the app is running. You can have it black, you can have it white, you can do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. But if we run this game, you also note that it's I'm pressing the W, S, A, and D keys here, and I can move this little red character around. And if I use the I, K, J, and L keys, I can move the blue character around. And if I press the first action button, which is Q, this person shoots off little missiles of joy. And if I press the U key, which is the action key for the second joystick, the blue character starts shooting off missiles of joy. You don't have to use all of the inputs. That's entirely up to you. Again, you can just use one button. You can use one button from each side. You can do, it's completely up to you. That's what we're trying to get across. So yeah, that's basically it for the template. There's nothing else magic going on. As long as you're listening to keyboard input via the usual methods, we will make it all work with a joystick. That's our responsibility. So, but you can use any shaders you want. If you want to do any GPU programming, just make sure that it works on a Mac. And any plugins, as long as you own them, then please go ahead and use those. And that should be it. Next thing is you're going to want to check how this actually looks on the facade of Harper itself. For that, we're going to use two other magic programs. One is called Syphon, which is a free program. The link's already posted on the Tiny Massive website. This is amazing. And another one, which is another Unity app that we've built called Syphon, Tiny Massive Syphon Visualiser. So this is going to receive input from the I'm going to open a slightly different version of that. Give me one sec. So it's going to look like this. So at the moment, it's receiving this test pattern from Syphon, and it's stretching it to this size here, and then we're cropping it back to the correct 77 by 13 resolution here, and it's displayed on this lovely layout of Harper. But in order to test our game, we're going to need to load it up and get Syphon to recognize it as an input. So if we go to where we've been, I've made a build of my Tiny Massive template here, which is the app running earlier. Ignore the fact that it runs in full screen. So this is the Unity app that we had earlier. As you can see, I can move it, use the controls as before, and then in Syphon, I'm going to select this as an input, Tiny Massive Unity template. And you see instantly the visualizer has picked it up, and if I move the little red guy around and start spawning missiles, you see that, and I do the same to the blue, you can see this is appearing on the facade. One really important thing to notice is just how this quite large blue box on this in this screen is only showing up as a single pixel on the facade. So Jonas has been mentioning this, Charlotte has been mentioning this, Jaime as well, like big bold colours, big bold shapes, small details just will not come through. That's part of the challenge. You'll also notice that in here the Syphon captures the window top as well. And we can use this feature in Syphon to actually crop that away. So we go down here to crop and we increment this to, I think the magic number is 44 on a Mac, which is a Retina Mac. It might be slightly different if you have the window scales set differently. We can use this to crop off the top. And then, yeah, this is coming through. And we can now test our game and see how it looks on this model of Harper. And that's basically it. We may be making some updates to this to make it a slightly nicer model of Harper that you can zoom around. But essentially, the thing you need to worry about providing to us is this window here, that it runs in this window, that it responds to keyboard input, and that it is at that magic resolution of 616 by 104 pixels. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing what you come up with. And if you have any problems, any questions, that's what the Slack group is for. There's a join link on the Tiny Massive website, and we'll all be there waiting to answer any questions you might have. Cool, good luck, and see you on Slack.